watching, the watcher's watching me. Cameras spinning, eyes, no place to be free. High towers whisper to the ground below. Promises broken where the taxes grow. C.S.I. watchdogs sniff the trail. Follow the lies where the big dogs fail. Truth uncovered, corruption's face. Tear down the mask in the shadow place. Tear down the mask in the shadow place.
All right, I'd like to reconvene this meeting.
Sir.
All right, so, someone added Cola versus Berry.
There's a lady that's probably gonna get fired when we get that.
And,
That's a good one to add.
I'd like to add one too.
okay,
It's too late.
But
Oh, my God.
is us looking to go to our legal staff, but on our bidding, you know, we got the state contract, is what we need to do to try to do the source well and some of these other that bid out that you can use to get us to where we can use those. I mean, you can even buy, I mean, they've got thousands of things, papers, white products, and just the vehicles and equipment and all that.
so it's the, is it collaborative purchasing program?
Yes,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
yes,
I think it'd just be a matter of,
just add
They-
changes.
purchase policy.
Yes.
They, most of those have tremendous buying power.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's
Right.
how.
Like a state
It's a
contract for
nationwide,
everything.
yeah, it's a nationwide.
Ford over the Ford?
Yeah.
Able to use?
Yeah, we do it. And I've bid some stuff out that has got state contract and actually quotes, and Source Wells beat them both
Oh, wow.
on a lot of things like
Well,
that.
buying power.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You know,
Nationwide buying power.
Yep.
I think I don't see why we couldn't.
Mhm.
let's put that on. That one post, right? Yeah. So be thinking, one thing that we can change, what's the one thing that we can change?
The date?
To do as a county, one thing that we can change to make it better for our citizens, one thing.
A big picture, if we can actually pull this collaborative together with the four counties and do something about it, opioid crisis and mental health, that's one huge thing that I'd love to see change. That would change everything. It would change your jails, it would change. But that's a big pipe dream.
So, are you wanting it to be a collaborative between the four counties, or? I mean, I know there was a meeting.
Yeah. I don't think this whole county are one, I just want to be whatever I can
Make a difference in the
make a
opioid
difference.
issues.
Because that's, I mean, honestly, the opioid crisis is what affects the foster care system, half our jails. About 60% of our problems is caused by mental health. I know everybody says it's the state's job or somebody else's job, but we're the one footing the bill, and our kids are the ones that are paying the price.
Okay. So, make a difference in the opioid
Yeah.
crisis.
And I know that seems a little out of our realm, but I think it's only out of our realm because we don't try to make a difference.
Well, we're getting, I mean.
We're having money for it,
We're
so-
receiving some funding for it, so.
It's a good one, Steve.
Mr. Jim,
I'm still thinking about it.
so you wanna take a pass and you want me to
Yeah, I'm
go
gonna do it,
to-
Chuck.
Chuck.
I just let you go on.
Richard, go ahead.
And I will. How we go through our budget we talked about this earlier, but I really think it's important how we go through the budget process as a board having more work sessions and all that, I think that's really I just didn't feel like we had enough time as a board to really dial things in and ask more questions and all that. So yeah, one thing that could change, it could affect everybody. I think the better we are going through that budget process, having more meetings, is a finer tuned budget, which is the difference maybe in getting the tax break versus not. I mean, it's a huge deal. So how, as a board, we go through the budget process. The final process, yeah. Just, I mean, how we go through that whole thing to get to that final thing. I think Stephen touched on it, but I'd like to explore it a little more. I think it takes more of our time together to really do that we didn't have last year. All right, Chuck and Jim.
I think the one thing, and it kind of goes with that a little bit, and it really goes with what we were talking about earlier, is the fact that we have the ability, to eliminate the biggest portion of property tax for citizens. And the one thing that we hear all the time, and people think we don't listen. I mean, trust me, I know, because I've hit that point in my life where I make what I make. And, you know, somebody that's worked all their lives to build a house and build a home and have something, and it gets chipped away with property taxes. And I don't like property taxes. I understand the state of Georgia put us in that position where we had to live off of them. But now you've got them. I'd like to see us not fight the system, but try to work inside the system, make it as good as we can make it, and get the citizens out from under that thing that hangs over their head.
So to eliminate or reduce
As much as possible and that's gonna go with, you know, the final budget process, working within our budgets.
Yeah, property tax reform.
Good job.
So Jeff,
Thank you for making my rambling concise, what I was trying to say.
I think it's looking at from the budget to our prioritizing projects and us just, I mean, we're here this weekend doing the part of it, looking out for the best interest and setting priorities of the future for ours and then others, and as far as the spending and road paving and storm drain work that, I mean, we've got in the last 2 months, 2 ditches that wasn't really on a storm drain problem, but it was eroding out roads and things. So, I mean, we're looking at things that's coming up and finding a way to do it to help the community and just setting. We got a lot of priorities, having multiple departments that we fool with.
so prioritizing projects,
Yeah,
as how it relates to funding.
yeah.
I think identifying goes into that though, right? Because it's my ditch, I own it. I mean, but I came to the county years ago saying, this is a problem. And it's not my, I mean, it's gonna be the county's problem. It's gonna eat the road away. I mean, this is something.
And a
But
power
the-
pole.
And the power pole and the gas line, and we go all through that. But at the end of the day, it was identified. And that's where Alex Wooten, this new person that he's been able to get, the identifying of these and bringing them forward is also a big piece that needs to be done, because you can't prioritize if you don't have all that in front of you to say, these are definitely ones we've got to put on the radar. We've got to identify.
Relying on our staff to.
Yeah, we really got to get a better identification put in front of us of these.
Kind of like the same thing, I mean, I brought up that ditch years ago, but it's never got anywhere because back then, we didn't have the funds to do it. But,
Sure.
They moving that capital projects money is really.
Oh, yeah,
helped
it's
to make us a way to be able to do these projects.
from paving to storm drain
That's maybe
and having it there for other emergencies to take care of stuff.
If I could get another one, I wanna put it at the Graysville intersection with Trump. I mean, one thing I like to say, I really wanna see us bite the bullet and get the state funding we can and put a bridge over that.
What we're doing, that paving project, just pave over it, the road.
Correct, the rails.
Yeah. They'll be under the creek.
Harry, I got something, one thing we can check, one thing.
I didn't take an X-ray that Charlie told me.
There you go.
Proxy book.
I told him, I said, I wanna write a note that said you said I could proxy all your roads.
I don't know that I necessarily have a fix for this, but I would say one issue that if we could figure out a way to address, I mean, Catoosa County's got 70,000 some odd residents. I feel like we have a very small number that are actually plugged in and paying attention to what the county does. And if we could figure out a way
How to get them.
to communicate
informed.
and get, more people interested in what we're trying to do, what we can do. And obviously, that gets complicated because we're a relatively small county with 3 separate governmental entities that all can have different visions, different plans. And,
Well, then you've got a school board.
School board, right.
Then you've got.
State, you got
Catoosa
utility district, right.
Utility
Yeah.
district.
We could maybe add a section into the tax commissioners annual magazine that goes out.
Chris, I totally agree, right? People are thirsting for more information about different things. Yeah, and
It's so crazy. We live in a world that is so easy to get information out, but there's so many platforms you can't get the information
Oh, that's
because
right.
you don't know who's watching.
Right.
You
Or
see,
you gotta
you
make
just
sure the
advertise on
information you
3
get out
hours
to
later,
Right.
you know?
no, and I agree with you on that, Chad. That's a good point too. It does have to be accurate.
Or you may be competing with information that's put out there
False
intentionally
information.
or unintentionally, it's inaccurate.
And that
And
gets
there's
done a
so much
lot.
of it, you know, people have a hard time weeding through to get to.
Would it be inappropriate to have one more discussion item before I forget about it? 'Cause we got, I know I hate back up on you.
Was that Charlie that played, or just?
Yeah, Charlie just texted me in the
Had one more.
So I think we need to discuss how we're gonna go forward in the future with sewer expansion.
I don't disagree that that's a discussion to be had.
It's on my.
I was when you went to the bathroom. I said for future.
So we're gonna, great.
Thank you, Nate.
All right, Chad, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know that I have some earth-shattering something that says this has gotta change. I'll just say to preface it that I've got the benefit of 30 years of experience in seeing how far we've come from where we were when I first started in Chris's position under Skip to now. And my big thing is let's continue this, moving this ball forward. I give credit to this board for being more proactive than any other 5 collaboratively about tackling problems before they become problems. Because like Jeff Long said, instead of going out and fixing the stormwater ditch because it blew out, a tile blew out, we've got an actual stormwater department, a stormwater maintenance plan. And instead of, when I was first, it wasn't called LMIG then, it was LARC. I thought it was paving.
Yeah.
And the only money the Board of Commissioners
Was LARC.
put in the SPOS was
Match.
enough to match our LARC.
And it was just 10%
And
at
it
the
was just
time.
10%.
That's right.
And that was our paving plan. And now here we are talking about 20-year road life, grading roads. And the only thing I'll say is, obviously, I'm a taxpayer, lifelong taxpayer, Lord willing, will continue to be. So I don't like property taxes any more than anybody else, and I'm all about getting the best bang for our buck. But I also don't want us to cut where we don't need to cut. A staff position, your example was Alex adding his staff position, that pays dividends. I mean, as our county grows, we're all human, all of our plates are only hold so much, and some of the stuff we want to deliver, we need to deliver, the citizens demand us to deliver, it comes at a cost. And so I've been on boards where we spend a lot of time stepping over dollars to pick up pennies.
Yeah.
And I always wanna be frugal with the taxpayers' money, but I think also, I mean, I'll say it here, we'd shout it at an HCCG conference in Savannah. I'll put this county up against any county, the other 158 counties, about the quality and level of services you deliver for the cost to the taxpayer.
Absolutely.
There's no comparison. Sorry, I didn't mean it to be a cheerleading session, and I don't know how you write that down. How about
Continuous,
keep doing what you do?
continuous improvement.
Continuous improvement, right.
Continuous
It's,
improvement.
sometimes you.
That's what I heard you say, Council.
Right, it's like if you're in your woodworking shop and you're tinkering on something, you're not starting from scratch every day, but there might be a little project that you go in and you just
I built a
improve
jig,
on what's
I
there.
built a jig,
That's right.
and I improved the jig, right?
I give the credit all the time. This board, I feel like last year did a hell of a lot
Yeah.
to improve this county. And I'm sorry, I'd stack that up against any prior board.
And to stretch it beyond the board, I give Dan a lot of credit for the staff that we have and the directors. I mean, cause
We have.
I can tell you, we've changed in the last 5 years to a total 360.
Just look at the admin building.
Yeah.
It's pretty fast.
It's a full team.
Yeah.
Pulling.
And they're all out for the betterment of the department and to do.
Yeah, we made the decisions, but the Alex Wootens and the Joshes and the
Yes.
Megans and all these behind the scenes folks. But you, Dan, you have, I mean, the level of quality of person that you've put in these positions is, yeah.
I mean,
There's some top-notch folks.
Your administrative assistant's lacking a little judgment. Other than that, you made some stellar choices.
I think we've stepped up. Yeah.
No, and I'll speak for this side of the table when I say, I appreciate the five of y'all giving us direction.
Yes.
Because we haven't always had a board that would do that. We would get a lot of hemming and hawing or looking, or we did a lot of talking and not a lot of doing. And, I appreciate for Dan and Megan, their staff, I mean, y'all giving the money in the budget to make an investment in people. Because that's really what it is. It's hiring somebody, it's not you hire the right person, it's an investment.
It was hard last year. We had to tell some guys that, no, we're
There's
not gonna
some-
fund that
there's a limit,
position.
right.
Yeah, no, but I think the ones we did fund were key positions that ended up saving the taxpayers money down the road. Whether it's a mechanic at the shop, obviously not milling out work to somewhere else paying more money, or that position at Alex filled, or stormwater and all these other things. And if we can't identify these roads that I'd like to identify that need to be private, public and all that, if we don't have the manpower to do it. So,
Well, Megan, I've got one, I think, one thing that we can do to change is take more advantage of the resources that we have. And when I say that, take more advantage of these folks that you're talking about, right? We got a lot of young stallions out there with a lot of brain power and a lot of determination, and I think we just gotta keep cultivating that and let them know that we're listening to them, and so take advantage of the resources that we have, because I know I certainly do, and I know when I first come to the county, and I kept calling Chad, and I finally said, Chad, I'm sorry that I bother you. He said, whoa, wait a minute. He said, I welcome this. I'd a whole lot rather spend 5 or 10 minutes on the front end than you not running it through us and us having to defend a bad decision. And I couldn't imagine sitting in the chair that I sit in and not use this office that you pay the same every month regardless of using or not, but the wealth of knowledge that comes out of that office, that just blew my mind. So,
And I'll brag on one, that Alex Wood, I contacted him, I guess it was the first spring of last year, spring, summer, on the bid, just to see how he's coming up with his pricing on the road paving. And he said, I got this formula, I'll send it to you. I said, where do you get that? And he said, I created it.
sure.
I mean, I can go in there and put the length and the width of the road and what my depths are, and boom, it pops up and it'll tell you
He's incredible. He's
The
so smart.
price of what it's gonna cost to pave that road if you wanna do shoulders and all, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, he saved it for me and, I mean, and my bids, I figured it, last year on our LME and the money we spent, it figured it at $702,000 using his. And bid come in at $698,000. So,
Well, he missed it by 4,000.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
I told him he's gonna have to get a little better, but
Well,
I mean, it,
So, well, whoever the contractor was left 4,000 on the table.
yeah.
That's what happened.
But yeah, he's amazing.
He is, and I've enjoyed, because they didn't come on long before me, I don't think, and so I've watched them kind of grow at the same time I have, and it's been fun to watch those guys get more confident and more just taking hold of what they got. Josh especially, like at the jail the other day, I was outside talking to him, yeah, he's another sharp one, right? Because we're comparing notes, and I'm like, well, I had these questions, and he's like, well, I had that, and I got this question, and I'm like, yeah, right guy in that job.
And he had applied a couple times and got looked over. And I was like, what in the world are y'all doing here?
Well, the board did a good job bringing you on. I had no
Yeah.
part in that, but it all starts with your position. No, it does. You're the day-to-day, Dan, and without the right leader in that
Two
spot.
or three times.
Sir?
Gotta be
Some
patient.
things take 2 or 3
Gotta be
times.
patient sometimes.
No,
Thank you, though. One that we haven't mentioned in there, and we can go on and on, Travis Higgins. Oh, so.
Yes, top notch.
And then he's got Patrick, Partang, another young and rising star. And then you look at Laura Ogden taking the HR department. She has actually been able to recapture hundreds of thousands of dollars that we needed to be getting, that we wasn't getting, and streamlining and making it more consistent. Amazing job. Rachel Clark. Wow.
And then,
Wow. I don't know.
then there was Megan. I mean,
Well,
honestly, I mean.
somebody
you
twisted
said,
my arm on
yeah.
that one.
When we took over the hospital, and I mean, it was, maintenance wise, it was in a mess.
Yes.
I mean, if the state come into it and
And
all,
she-
as far as
she-
records and.
She was very hesitant to come work with me, right?
I was.
EDA and all that, but no.
Well, last week was my 5 years.
Man, you kidding?
But it hadn't been that bad working, with me, right? I mean,
You just figure the string out at Colonnade.
At the Colonnade, it worked here. That's not my fault.
You're just jinxed over there.
Yes. Any more? Anything else?
I'm just enjoying this love fest.
do I need to brag on Megan for a little bit?
I think we've already
Oh,
done that.
stop.
I didn't know what I was gonna do that.
Hey, do, oh, stop like this.
Oh.
You gotta-
That 2 weeks she was
Show
gone.
your ring like this.
2 weeks, I was gone
Felt like
for
2 weeks, I mean.
days.
I was wondering if she hurt her left shoulder because she's holding it down. But
Yeah, I have to go do PT. All right. Well, that gives us some good stuff to work over tonight, and, let's flip for a minute and get started under culture. How about that? Under 6 there.
6.
Lease agreement for the chamber. This is the draft, I believe, right?
Yeah, this was a draft that we put out and then it's tabled for further discussion.
And then we received a request for something less, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's right, you got it.
Where did you go? Where it was?
It would be right around,
You sent it to me on the 12th. December 16th. You sent me on December 16th.
Yep, 1250 equals the 15,000 that's right here.
That is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and then,
I think the request of the email might have been just leave it at 1250 with no increase.
and that's what this is.
But this is 1250 first year. And
With
then after
the-
that, the increases
Yeah.
next year.
To 24.7.
What they asked for. is
And then
we
after
approved
that,
it to
it
12.
would be 3% increase then.
Anybody got any input, opinions?
I just like to leave it at 1250. I know that was a double increase.
With no increase?
Correct.
I mean, personally, I think we need to get close to where as we discussed the first time in it, but we're still under the going rate, I mean, because we are furnished utilities, cleaning and everything,
I think the difference for me is they do provide a service to the county. They do help nearly they help every nonprofit in the county. They help us anytime when they do. For one, the SPOS, most recent, and working towards that. They became a partner, in my opinion, from when I started, which was the previous chair of the, or CEO or whatever executive. Then, and Chad, you were through that, it was a little different world back then. It wasn't about helping the county, it's about totally different.
Right.
And now the chamber has morphed into this tool that has become a help and more of a partner to the county when we need resources, or when communities of school need resources, or when the flood victims, when they fed the families of all the floods, so they do so much more now than the average chamber.
I still think though, that's a heck of a deal. They're not gonna, even if it went up, I don't think. And I know they're going up on their fees right now, I mean, and from where they stand, I know it's not part of it, but I mean, they're supposed to be a nonprofit, but
So they're trying to get to where they've got to, all their staff has got older. And they're having to start to try to hire new. Chamber has never been able to provide the benefits, so they're gonna have to start providing benefits to attract some help to continue services. So I mean, I know they have some money put up right now, but it is for a plan to be able to get to some help to continue to provide the services that they do. A lot of counties don't charge their chambers anything because their chambers are designed to be a partner.
But the one that keeps getting brought up, I mean, not saying they're not much, but they don't do and have a big group. I mean, they're not a real outgoing,
Oh, I'm not
you
just
should say,
talking
in the
about-
community.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about Walker, but
Yeah.
there's several chambers that don't charge, their counties don't charge for their facility.
I mean, I guess it'd be out of the lease or their thing. I would also like us also to look at what is maybe even going down on what the level that we're on. Because I mean, you figure, I think we pay about $7,500 membership a year. And then, but half of what we get for that, we don't, I mean, like this board, there's nobody that's golfers, so, I mean, it includes a golf team and things. If we're not using it, I'd say go down to the level that we actually need, because I mean, it's gonna, I don't know what it'll be when it comes our renewal time, but, we'll probably be over $8,000. Well, I know we'll be over $8,000 this year on membership. Fort Ozark's at 5,000, they proved it 2 meetings ago, theirs went up to 5,500, so. And I think that's the way it's rated on there, is what all you get for the membership you're paying. I mean, we're talking about looking out for the taxpayers and kind of like property. I mean, this is one leg to me.
I agree that looking out for the taxpayers, and I guess I look at it both ways, is the bang for the buck that we get out of the chamber that they do for the taxpayers is huge, and they're able to do that in part for how we handle them. I just look at it differently, I guess. Now, I don't have a problem with downgrading our membership.
Yeah.
If we're not using that, I mean, I know 911 typically puts a team in, or the sheriff or whatever, but frankly, I ain't got time to golf. I'm
Yeah.
never good at it. But I think if we're truly looking out for our taxpayers, it's a big giant picture, and it's every organization within it. And I see that organization stepping up every time anybody needs anything, whether it be community schools, or whether it be flood victims, or whether it be the college and career local for the school, whether it be the county for SPOS. That's the resource. That's where all the nonprofits go. That's where the businesses go when they need employees. They don't come to the county, they go to the chamber and go, can we do a employee drive? What can we do? And they find something to do. They're the place, when Food City calls me and goes, hey, I wanna help, what I need to do, they're the place we go to figure out how to make it filter through. So to me, it's just a bigger picture than, I've lived through the chambers, that was nothing but a fundraising, let's have a glass of wine and think about it.
I think we got that one down. I know they do stuff, but I mean, every time you turn around, it's just like the meals, I mean, they profit off of everything. But we'll never see eye to eye, I guess, on that.
Didn't we talk about going to $12.50 this year?
They're paying that now.
Yeah, they
That's
make
what
it.
that's what the lease says, $12.50 this year.
And then next year.
Then next
go-
year bump it up to the $24,760, which however that tallies out a month.
2,000.
2,000 something, which was the rental rate the county paid. When it rented.
Remco.
Right.
First talked about,
Everybody,
first talked about starting with that rate, and then we said, well, we phase it in 1 year, and then we did that, and then the board's input was, and so we don't have to address this again, go ahead and put a 3% escalator in for each year after the second year. So that's what the draft lease you have in front of you is, $12.50 for year one, 2,000 something for year two, and then 3% year over year after that.
Yeah, to me, we're treating them like a business, not a partner. We're gonna get what we get. But frankly, I think we're gonna need them again when it's time to pass the pennies, and I think that's coming.
But they're gonna make, to get a donation, they're gonna say, you gotta become a member of the chamber to give a donation to that. I mean,
It was worth the 60 million again.
well, I mean.
I just think they're a resource, and I know we compare it to what we paid in Mashburn,
Well, we were still under that, I think.
but nah,
The first year.
Yeah.
the first year.
Well, I mean, even at that other, if you figure utilities and all that, 'cause we was still paying utilities, we paid all if you got an air conditioning go down, we had to pay for that, and so. I think there's a big difference.
2,500,
Yeah.
right?
But
Like
again,
air conditioning.
Mashburn's not a partner to the county, Mashburn's a business.
Yeah.
That's making money off I like to have partners that are there when we need something.
Purposely sat here and set this one out for a second, trying to let you guys, talk your way through this. And this will probably take a Charlie to figure this on all out, where we're gonna all stand as a board. So I was right there with you, right? First and foremost, we're here for the taxpayer. Yeah, I totally, me, I'm right there with you. And Stephen, I understand your point, right? The chamber does do a lot more. She helped with the College and Career Academy when they did all those students here recently, right? They went over there and ran through the program and gave these kids real life skills and all that. So I'm in a little bit in the middle now. I went and sat down with Amy. My whole thing is if I'm in a spot, I feel like I owe it to talk to Amy, because her and I never really sat down and had a good conversation, right? And I wanted to hear her side, because my side was all about, these are the numbers and this is the taxpayers, and you're right. Like, look, this is what we were paying at Remco, and these are the benefits that we didn't have that they do have, and we went right through that list. I think years ago as a board, if they had put a 3% escalator in this, we wouldn't be having this discussion. And that's why I said, look, whatever we get through at the end of this, it needs to have a 3% escalator in there, because I don't want a future board to have to deal with this again. And if Amy's not at the chamber, it doesn't matter. Whoever's there, they just know this is the lease, this is the escalator, and the rent's gonna be the rent, and we're good. They've got a premier location. There is no doubt about that, right? You can't compare Remco to the College and Career, or to the Colonnade. You can't compare. It's centrally located, but the benefit to that is that they're centrally located to do the business that they do. They were some of the first ones down there at the floods. I mean, Amy organized the food and did all that stuff. There's something to be said for both sides. I get both sides. And, I've talked about hammer and feather a lot, and I do that, right? I think hammer gets you nothing in trouble if you beat somebody with it, because I think it comes back and bites you at some point. You may win the battle today, but they're waiting for another opportunity to strike back at a future date, and that's not a relationship that's beneficial for anybody. Feather, though, doesn't benefit the taxpayer, right? Because at the end of the day, we're stewards of their money. And that's a huge deal to me. Y'all know that. I talk about that, and y'all talk about that. We all take that serious. I think there's got to be some middle ground. And so what Amy came back and said is, she had no problem with the $1,250. That's doubling their rent from where it's at. $625 was just crazy, ridiculous low. No doubt about it. But that number's been floating around for how many years? How many years have they paid $625? Since they've been at the Colonnade?
Since Colonnade.
Since 2020?
No,
20 years.
20 years. I mean, you think about a 3% escalator on that, we wouldn't be having this talk, right? But, we can't go back and unwind the watch. So doubling it, and that's why they came back and said, so, her whole pushback was, I'd like to leave it at $1,250, and then in 3 years, come back and look. But I don't like that idea, because in 3 years, we don't know the makeup of the board. If people get busy, things get dropped. I think the lease, wherever it comes out, just has to have a 3% in there, where we're just not coming back and dealing with this issue again. Their pushback is 2470 is, yeah, you're treating us just like a business, not a partner in anything. The citizens could care less about them helping with SPLOST. I mean, if it just comes down to it, push and shove. I know, right?
There are citizens that remember the chamber. So.
No, definitely. But I think as far as them being an advocate for the SPLOST cycle, there's going to be a lot of people who say, well, we just don't even care about that. Now, I'm on record. I think SPLOST we need that to make this county the place it is, and to have the services we provide and do all that. I'll argue with anybody any day of the week about why SPLOST is important. That's my personal belief. But at the end of the day, where I stand on it is we got to find a good middle ground. And they don't like 2470 next year because they feel like they're not being treated as a partner. We went from 625 to 1250, and they're going to pay 1250 this year because that's what they've agreed to even without signing this lease. So we've got to figure out where we go forward. And the 1250, as she proposed, and come back in 3 years, I don't like that, because I want to fix this once and for all. So I've kind of come back off the fence where you're at, and I'm kind of going back a little bit, trying to understand that relationship, because they do things in the community. They are a different chamber. Now, we might not have that conversation in 5 years, because Amy may be gone and there may be a new chamber president that's not the same person and doing the same things. And I don't think this lease laid out, however it lays out, needs to be a long-term lease, because things do change. There needs to be a flexibility there for the next board or the next chamber president that comes along that doesn't perform at that level. And we can come back as a board, or the board, whoever that is at the time, and say, we're not locked into a 5-year lease, but I'm kind of back more towards where Stephen's at a little bit. And that's where I don't, I know we're two of us and now two of us, and that's why I said, I think it's gonna take a third to tie break here. I never knew Amy on a personal level. I knew a little bit of the chamber before, when the previous was there, and my wife tried to be active in that, and it just didn't feel right? And I get why, but we've got a different chamber president now. I mean, that lady is definitely in the community and helping. I mean, I don't think anybody in here just push back on that. And I think that somehow this lease has to reflect the fact that we do appreciate those things. But at the end of the day, we've got a fiscal responsibility to the taxpayers that we've got to figure out too. So I don't know.
And I know, just like there's several boards that Dan's on, that Amy is part of, that's where they go. And she's more, and then you're right, if she quits, they might be a lousy one, and we just want to run them out or whatever. But right now, we've got one that's really engaged in the gig and the whatever, anything and everything that we need somebody engaged to, that engaged with, not to. That's bringing money and resources back to our community.
I didn't realize she was an employee of the Colonnade before she went to the chamber. So she's like, sometimes I'll get tours of the Colonnade when they're busy over on the county side, right? Because somebody wants to rent it, and I'll help out, right?
Well, she actually brings people in from the connections she makes with other chambers and tells them about Colonnade and gets people to come in and lease.
She works
She
hard.
does a lot.
You can't take that from her. One thing you can say, she does work hard. I have no qualms about that.
And I'll just put it out there, I mean, I by no means have anything against the chamber or Amy or anything. I mean, I think they do a good job, but I mean, I just.
You're looking at the fiscal. You're looking at a fiscal, and I'm trying to put now a little bit more of that, the other side there. But I think your suggestion was a great one, right? What is that step down? If we're not using all that, right, and we're going to cut that back, what's that look like, right? And so, we're trying to go here and rent, but if we're reducing our dues, I mean, we're getting back maybe toward that $12.50 being okay with an escalator built in at 3%, because we're not paying $7,500 because we're not using all that. Hammer feather, trying to find a nice common ground. I don't think this is it, and I'm not saying what you're proposing is necessarily right there either. And I know, but
I won't thank you for taking the time to talk to her.
Well,
it is not a normal chamber. It is, you just don't get what we've got everywhere.
And I understand you've worked closely with her for years, right? I don't have that relationship with her. I thought I owed it to her to go sit down and give her an opportunity to talk to me. I just felt like that was the professional right thing for me to do.
When I come in, it was right at the end of the last chamber. And so we sort of were able to work together, because Jeff will tell you, there was rifts everywhere with organizations. I mean, nobody talked. But when Amy got there, we were able to work with the chamber, and that opened the doors to actually rebuild relationships all over the county. And so we sort of grew in the roles together, and it helped a lot.
We've doubled their rent this year. I mean, to a taxpayer, I mean, we're collecting double what we were for the last 20 years. I mean, we've already pushed the ball forward in that respect. But this, Chad, to go back to, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where that's going to land. This is where we're a split board at this point, in my opinion, and That's why there's a 5-person board. So I guess we'll have to revisit this when we are a 5-person board.
Have you heard from Charlie, by the way, is his mom, did she get out of the hospital? I texted, but I didn't.
Yeah, I had,
That was encouraging that they were thinking about trying to get.
Oh, he said he's at the house now trying to get her settled in for the night. So she did get to come home.
Good.
That lady's had a hard time. Sorry, I didn't know maybe.
No, you're good. And like anything else, whatever 3 decides is, hey, I'll go along. That's just the way we're in. Nothing personal in there.
so how would we want to proceed? You want us to put it on
Let's-
maybe the second meeting or the first meeting and second meeting in this, February, whatever the board wants.
We'll have I guess we can have a.
Because really, the 99% of the parameters of the lease you have in front of you, there's no issue. As far as, to your point about it being long-term, short-term, it's a 1-year lease.
Okay.
So either party can get out. And so.
Or change it. You know,
Correct.
say, hey, we're, you know.
Or just you don't want to do it anymore.
Correct.
And so you're not locked into anything long-term beyond a year. It's only if nobody terminates, it rolls over for another year. So the question, and everybody seems to agree that year 1, which is what we're in now, what we're in is $12.50 a month.
So we got.
And so the question, really the hole or the void to fill is what happens after year 1?
After, right, in 2027.
Right. And do you want to address it in this lease, or do you just want a 1-year lease for $12.50 and then address it at the end of the year? I mean, that's another issue.
What if you, looking at it with all the discussion, what if you split it and said, say next year go to 1,600 and then like say leave the 3% in? That would, where we was gonna go 2,060, I think it was, a month
60, that's right.
was the rate.
I mean, we don't have to
We
go.
agreed on.
At 10:20 at night on Friday, we'll be.
No. I mean, we can obviously just draft the lease up at $12.50 and we can get that signed so we're locked for this year, but we've got to decide going forward. And that's where that seat's got to have, we've got to, and he's finally blessed in
And I
his
think you
mother's
gotta-
home.
I think you gotta come up, I think it needs to come to something and get done, or we're gonna be like it's been the last 20, we're never gonna.
We'll just
Get
have
there.
we'll do a couple of longer work sessions, get Charlie caught up to speed.
The other option is go back to 625. If they're good partners, we wanna do the right thing by them, why are we going up at all?
We already did.
Well, they agreed to it, and I think $12.50 is very generous. Listen, I think $6.25, I get what you're saying, Chuck, but that was ridiculous. You can't justify that to a taxpayer. I thought, and this is another reason I went and met with her, I've always seen that big glass conference room up front. I thought that was part of their space. It's not. We actually leased that out as a county, and that's our lease space. But here again, that was me spending the time over there kind of getting a little bit more knowledge for myself. If at the end of the day, like you're saying, then I just didn't just do $12.50 and put a 3% escalator on it, and then just don't have to come back and talk about it again. Then it's just done. So right now we don't have that consensus, but we do know they've doubled their rent. That's a good thing. It's a step in the right direction.
Well, they may have doubled their rent, but they haven't, it's not agreed upon.
No, it's not a lease,
So,
Oh, yeah, we've got to get that done. I get that, but I'm just saying they are paying today. They've paid.
We'll just have a work session with Charlie involved. I'd rather hear people on that. It has to be to make a decision anyway, I would say. But I really do, I appreciate you taking the time to go over there and learn, because it's way different than what people expect. It means a lot.
No. Well, I owed it to her. We go to chamber things, and I get it, and I get the discussion we've had. from a fiscal thing, I get that too. I'm just trying to put everything together to make the right decision all the way around.
I think the, going to the chamber things, that's really the least part of what the chamber does.
But that's my only interaction with it.
That's what I'm
That's,
saying.
that's what I'm saying, and, you know, I need to get a little bit more
When you
background.
dig into what she really does, that's the, I mean, it's like even, you know, she and I are both on that GNTC board, so right now she's making a push with GNTC, she's now the trustee president, to get our North Georgia, our Ringo campus fired back up, because they've been kind of sliding us a little bit. Is that really in our preview? No, but if that campus gets full, people are spending money, people are coming there, you know, it all benefits us. Anyway.
You guys, anything else? before we go on?
All right, Colonnade rental history, you know, we had a conversation at a work session about, well, what does a Saturday, what does a Friday look like, et cetera. And, but you know, what was amazing to me, other than Monday, they're pretty close.
There's not one better day than another, or you buy a long shot. I mean, there is with Saturday, but it's not by, I mean, Thursday. You know what it told me Thursday would be number 2. Yeah.
Well, Thursday's the best day to have events, because there's, you don't have any competition. That's why I always have my stuff on Thursdays. There's no commission meetings, there's no board meetings. Football games shift on Friday, you know, all they can compete with varsity, or junior varsity. Yeah, so Thursdays are good days. You get more people to come. Yeah. And it's cheaper than Saturday.
That's what you're saying, Monday through Thursday's cheaper, right?
Yeah.
So that was, if you go to, page 9, I wanted to just include, because I don't know how many of you are familiar with the rental rates, et cetera. This is the little packet that they put together. Page 10 shows you the diagram of the building, and then below it, it tells you everything from, you know, what a banquet full is versus a banquet hall, and then the individual rooms, and how many square feet. And then on page 11 is the rental, or the room rental rates. So,
Just a side note, man, they're doing a really good job over there as well. Like, very professional with rent, they give you diagrams, lay everything out.
computer diagrams?
Yes. Clean, neat, no questions, I mean, everything's.
And I hooked, Mia Callahan, our intern from Tech, she built a program for them to use on those diagrams.
Okay, that's what I thought it, they whipped out it, I mean, it was just right, too. So another.
We do know that when you compare the rates to surrounding areas, we're probably fairly light. These rates have been in effect for many, many years. Well, I think we need to charge her with, charge Joy with gathering information
I like that.
with similar
Similar venues.
facilities, yeah.
I agree.
Missing something on this, Dan? It says Monday through Thursday, you know, 9 to 5. Where's the rate Monday through Thursday after 5, or we just don't rent it after 5?
It's Monday through Thursday, and then just Friday, 9 to 5. And then Friday
evening,
night,
it goes up.
it goes up.
So it's
Day-
all
day
week
or night,
long,
Monday
but
through Thursday.
after 5.
Day or night.
Yeah, but after 5 on Friday, that's when you pay the higher
After
rate.
5 on Friday, right, but I mean, the way it read in here, 9 to 5,
It
it's
is
like,
well
so
confusing.
where's the nighttime rate for Monday through Thursday?
It's
Is kind of what I was
Yeah.
Same.
saying.
And is there a rate for Saturday? And Can you rent it on Saturday?
Yes,
Yeah, and
Friday
Sunday.
After 5 p.m.
After 5 o'clock on
Saturday.
Friday, and then all day Saturday and Sunday are those. But I was just confused because it didn't have anything after 5 on Monday through Thursday. I didn't know where. Yeah. Do you think a market study shows that we should go up?
Should you
From what I'm gathering, yes.
Yeah.
And that comes from people that use the facility, and that some of our vendors that facilitate other venues, they're like, oh yeah, y'all.
So who's gonna gather that information for us?
Joy
Joy.
Birchville.
Very good.
On here, I guess, to me, it's confusing. On Friday after 5 p.m., you got that rate of 12, let's say the theater, 1200. Then Saturday, it's 900, but it don't have, I mean, to me, Saturday would be your biggest.
Well, that's the standard rate, and then you got a Catoosa rate. So like if, for you or I, we lived in Catoosa County. If somebody from Hamilton came, that would be a standard rate. And then if the school system did it, it would be that other rate.
Would it be all day long and all night for 1,200?
Yeah.
It says all rentals are for up to 8 hours.
Yeah, down, a little bit down there, underneath the rates down there, first bullet point.
Except Fridays.
Well, Friday after 5, so you could have it 5 to, I guess, what, 1 in the morning, that'd be your 8 hours,
Yeah.
but I get nobody.
And I think that's that bad. I think we had a smaller block when we ran
Good.
it. Yeah, it seems like we don't get it all day.
Yeah.
I don't
that's
think you
what
have to. I think this is just like the prices.
Yeah, I know,
for
but
it.
I think it's prices.
But your event was
Oh,
after,
okay.
Yeah, they charge me regular rates, so that's
your event was after the employee
Yes.
thing, so there was just a short
Yeah.
window you could even do, right?
right, but even prior to, we do it every year, so the only way you book for a certain period, it's like an evening or a day, it's not, if I remember right, because the only way I could ever like decorate early is if nobody was in there, it wasn't because I had the room.
Okay. So we need to get
Clarification of how long.
those rates, and if there is a shorter window.
And if there's not, it's not to create one, because
Yeah, 'cause like I said,
having the evening
the
people in
way
there.
it is
yeah.
on the Saturday there, it looks like you could get it
The whole day.
the whole day and night.
Yeah.
I mean, because Friday night's only after 5 o'clock, and over here, it's like you don't rent it from 9 to 5 on Saturday.
A
Or
lot,
what time, but
a lot of people use this for weddings,
yes.
and they'll have it,
The whole weekend.
they'll have it for days.
Yeah,
And days,
just
to decorate,
Decorate
to
for-
do their rehearsal dinner, to do their.
Yeah.
Only,
you can get that county rate at least.
Leave it on.
Yeah, true.
Flower girl.
Side note, since we're on Colonnade, is there any renovations, like carpet replacement or anything like that that's in SPLOST or coming forward, that there's stuff in there for that?
I know that the
Chairs
the
or-
interior, walls, the sliding walls is in there because, they've been in there since
We
the
did
building.
the
Carpet
carpet.
chair just been.
Yeah.
carpet not too long.
About 5 years ago, and 3 or 4 years ago, on the stairs.
Units have been worked over.
But I think in the hallway,
Are they still there?
they bleach some of the,
Yes, there's a carpet section repair.
they bleach some of the colored carpet that's gonna have to be,
Put in, but yeah, okay.
is it the gold, I think, that's
Yeah. The
somebody.
walls definitely need some attention, though, they're getting.
But there's no major on the horizon that's going on down there that's already budgeted for or anything?
Those interior sliding walls would probably be the most expensive item.
I think we put them in this box, didn't
We did.
And then building maintenance put a new roof on the spots.
So it hadn't been, but it's on to be done, a new
Yes.
roof. Yeah,
We're
that's
just
what I was kind of
trying to
getting at.
collect money.
Yeah, that one's gonna fix the one.
Just seems like we're getting to the time in that maintenance cycle in a building like that, where
Right.
a roof and air
96.
conditioning, yeah.
And HVAC,
The
we
big
just
stuff
did that.
starts to come due, and I just,
That chiller went out, right?
Yeah.
We had to
rent
a
put it in there
chiller.
for a wedding.
Coming in.
I mean, that's
Also fun.
for
those-
commercial,
Those people didn't like 85 degrees in there, right?
but that's
Terrible.
typically if you build a commercial building or something like that, office building or whatever, the developer's looking to get out by the 20th year because they know that's when the maintenance bells start ringing, and so that's why I was kind of asking. I
Sure.
figured that's where we're at with it.
Oh, good stuff. I think I may have mentioned this before. But, you know, Alex is wanting to continue to use the amphitheater. I don't, and I know there's a process that this could be done, but are we interested in having alcohol sales? But this would be at a county event. This wouldn't be like,
Somebody renting the facility.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
This would be like something that the county actually put on.
So like if
don't all holler at once.
Clay Walker, the country music artist, is gonna come and they rent the amphitheater for him to go, you're saying if it's a county event, you're talking about this, but if a private entity rented it for him to come and do a concert there, that's a whole different animal.
They would have to get the
They-
permits and
they-
whoever
They
their
got
vendor.
rule- yeah,
They already
got
have the
to.
rules.
So an
They can do
example would
that.
be like the fireworks fest.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right,
Or
for
the
example.
movie concerts, the, music concerts that Adam, or that Alex has been trying to put on.
I'll start out, my personal opinion, I think if we do it as a county thing,
Yeah.
most of ours is a family event, and I would say stay away from it ourselves.
From a legal standpoint, I can see you two over there, yeah, I mean, if it's a county held event, and there's alcohol there, that just opens up Pandora's
Well, or
box.
if somebody
It just-
leasing it.
Unless the board just feels really strongly about wanting to do it, that it could cause more potential headaches or problems. than-
Liability.
Right.
And the
I mean, you
profits
would
that we
obviously,
make.
because the context Alex asked was, A, is the board interested? And B, if you are interested, then he would get, what's the process? Which would be like if you go to a pro football game, they don't do their own concessions. They have a concessions vendor that does it. So you would put out to bid who's gonna be the alcohol vendor for county sponsored events. And of course, they would have the liability insurance, they would have meet all the requirements of the ordinance, all those things. But, if something happened at an alcohol event, there's still, even if it's not a county sponsored event, it's a county venue, so the county could be named, but you're one step further removed. Plus, you have the public perception is, this was a private event, not something that the board of commissioners authorized.
Well, I know that some places, when they lease the Colonnade for an event, they will have alcohol.
Yes, sure.
Either a cash bar or
Absolutely.
they'll give,
And they can do that.
Tickets.
The amphitheater's the same way.
but those things they're kind of a closed sale.
That's right.
You're a grown-up to get in there in the first place.
And
That's
it's a
what I
private
said
event.
about the amphitheater. If you had to be 21 to get inside the gate, whether or not you're gonna drink or not, but you ain't getting in unless you're 21, then I could see that, then that takes some of the responsibility and some of the liability away to not serve underage.
Which I don't think we've ever had anything that a crowd would, where it would be beneficial. And just like I went to a couple of the concert and movie nights during the summer, there wasn't a big crowd. Nobody's gonna come that lost or can, and you got a lot of children there, because it was a child-oriented movie after the concert and stuff, so that's where I think. But now, like you said, and they've been some that's US 101 one time did a concert, and then Farm to Fork got their permit and sold beer and stuff there.
Sure.
For them, I don't have a problem with that, but I just think if it's something we're doing through the recreation, I don't see anything that we've got that would really throw out to and make it worthwhile to sell alcohol.
Is there a county event that has taken place where we have served alcohol?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, so I just wouldn't want the county on the hook for that. It just doesn't make sense. It puts a liability out there for the county, you know? Just, it's
Well, I
one
knew what my
bad,
answer was, but.
yeah,
I didn't
one
know
bad apple, right? I mean, we all go back, in my mind automatically goes to the lady from Farm to Fork that killed the cop in Hamilton
Oh,
County.
yeah.
We don't wanna be on no, not even close. So,
We got two of them.
And like Chuck said too, you know, when you're in the Colonnade, it's a little bit different matter,
Sure.
right? You get outside and
Sure.
the fear you'd have is somebody handing it to an underage, even if you bought it, you know, somebody over 21 bought it, giving it to an underage, and there's no way to police that.
And there
Because
again,
it's dark, it's hard to see out there.
inside is also rented out.
Yeah.
It's not a county actual
No.
function.
Yeah.
I get what Alex, and I commend Alex, he's trying to find new ways to bring revenue in for his department. Hey, that's great.
Is it a bad time, not about the fair, but can we talk about the amphitheater a minute, or you want? to-
Absolutely,
Bit of slide later on?
absolutely.
If we're ever gonna actually rent that thing out regular, we're gonna have to spend some money on it. It needs lights, it's not safe, after dark. And every time we have somebody use it for an event, we get complaints because of the safety. So I think we need to look at, if we're gonna continue to try to use it, we need to at least put some lighting down there, at a very minimum.
Yeah.
Talking lighting,
Steps or-
used to have lighting down the steps and stuff, it's all,
There's nothing, there's never been lighting on the steps.
no, it used to be there's those posts down through there.
Yeah, we need to
But
do
the backside needs lighting too.
Yeah.
The performers and people coming and going.
It's a really nice venue.
Oh, it
If
is.
we spent some money on it, I think people would use it.
That's
But we're gonna have to make a little bit of investment
But what would the
And that might be
ROI
another place to do them lights, is up that sidewalk, because there's a lot of parking
in it. Yeah.
that you can put just up through that sidewalk coming from it, since the schools redid it.
You talking about some of those,
Solar lights.
solar lights?
Kinda like what they did over at the walking.
But you can't see your hand in front of you, like you say,
No.
behind the stage.
It's dark.
What are you gonna do when you do the fireworks? You gonna leave the lights on?
Now, that's why I was sitting there with the solar lights, keep turning them off. So,
Well, I don't think them solar lights, I don't think would affect them.
the light,
So-
anyway, I think,
And most people are not there,
yeah.
I mean, when the fireworks go
Yeah,
off.
because they're aimed the wrong way. But why can we task Alex, I mean, he's creative, let him look at that and just let him give us some ideas that we want, other than.
Well, he
selling
can
beer.
get with some promoters.
Yeah, other
just
than
say, what
selling
we
beer,
need.
asking what we can do. But that's an untapped facility that was given to us, we might as well.
We looked in it one time too, and actually put it out for bid for somebody to sponsor it. And name it after them. I think the credit union was one that had looked at it, and a couple of them, but to get some money coming in to put a good sound system in it, where everybody's not having to bring a sound system, where you got a fixed unit and lighting and stuff.
Where a church group can plug and
In
play.
there, yeah.
Probably not.
It's an ROI thing, so Alex runs the numbers and we can look, you know, is it the best bang for the buck?
Cause I think they talked about, it needed to be 3-phase, I think, put in
I can't remember
to
what it
do
was.
some of that.
But a lot of that's technology's
Oh,
changed
yeah.
too, over
Yeah,
the years,
exactly.
so.
Yeah.
But
But let Alex work on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind to look at it.
I mean, he's a talented guy, I think just tell him, you know, is there a way that we can make this more usable? Whether it's for the average person in our county or somebody promoter, but I'd rather see somebody in there using it versus just sitting there.
It's getting used once every 2 or 3 months.
Well, I know like at 1890 days, the sound's always an issue.
Yeah.
Especially when you're changing out bands every 30
Yes.
minutes to an hour. And then you have these, that they only want their own stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And, boy, it's just a nightmare.
And you-
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, you end up having 45 minute or hour downtime for this one to tear down and this one to put up.
So Dr. Graham pretty much just said, no, we're hiring a sound engineer for each stage, and they'll provide the equipment and you plug into it.
Yeah.
And,
I heard we did that concert when you're at 3 different Christian groups.
Oh, yeah.
And they all set up their own sound. Well, then only one of them worked. So they all had to plug into the one guy, the cheapest system there was. The rest of them
Kept
couldn't get their
bleeding over,
sort.
you start getting the fire department bleeding over into them, and
Oh, it was awful.
you get some of those bands, and it really don't matter because they turn it up so loud, it's all distorted.
It jumbled anyway.
Right, so.
That's
Later
later
screen.
I know. But yeah, if you can get Alex to look at that, that'd be great.
All right.
Tell him we want something on Tuesday.
Page
I'm afraid he would do it.
15 here. Mr. Young.
You have to take a call, I'm
Oh.
not sure what's going on.
Okay, all right. Y'all want to just sort of read through this, this email?
Seems like we might be a little under. Right.
Do we actually do a by the hour, is it just,
No, sir.
yeah, it's just a flat?
Now, I will say, if we're gonna try to get more money out of it, we probably have to do some painting and that, so they're shabby.
Several of them has been.
Yeah.
Several of them have been.
We've,
I know the one that Rose War has.
Poplar Springs, I know, looks really nice. Now, that's one thing Travis has been trying to do, is upgrade it.
Yeah.
Why was me that negative there?
No, y'all see one that looks like.
Yeah, I think there was another one that was Keith in that. Probably one of the newer ones, Keith, Wood Station right there.
Yeah.
well, they clearly need to go up, but I don't think you're ever gonna make.
You're
They're not gonna make profit.
But the thing is, that utility, that's not a fair,
Because of
the
elections.
utilities go on 24/7.
Well, in elections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even when there's nothing going on and it's sitting there empty, you got your utilities going on.
Sure.
So that's not really a cost of renting it out.
Well, this is kind of the similar, what we're dealing with on the chamber. We got $40 right now. His recommendation is go to 200.
I'm not real sweet.
That's a hard jump at one time. And I know it's his recommendation. Obviously, 40 to 100 is a step in the right direction. You know, he said if we increase to 150, I think 40 to 150 is a hard swallow, right? I think if we go anywhere, we've got to find a ground that, you know,
Yeah, like 40 to 80 for a while.
yeah, you
So
know,
they're kind of a service too for our community. They're not just.
That's right.
not a profit center.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get, we need, so, yeah, I was reading that and I'm like 40 to 200 or 40 even to 150. And I'm like, man, that's hammer. That's, you know.
I mean, it's the best hit sequel in the world right now. I mean, you're really thinking about.
Sure it is.
I mean, even for a birthday party or.
Graysville
a
stays.
small meeting or something.
Yeah.
Because I pass there obviously all the time. Graysville has always got cars there and everything. It's highly used. And since we put HVAC in there,
That's a lot. I don't see $100 being outrageous to rent for the day.
Yeah, I think we'd already went up when the city was doing it. I think we was at 75 for the Constitution Hall, and it stayed booked.
I mean, you've got a full kitchen in this place.
Yeah,
that's, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's,
Tables and chairs.
that's why,
So what do we think the number?
I mean,
I think you at least do 80.
yeah,
I'd
I'd
say
say
that's
80
based
to
on-
100. I mean, it's gonna be fair. Now, do we have any stipulations of who rents it? Or is that?
I'm sure there are.
that you gotta live in the county and all, 'cause
I know that one,
I
they
think-
didn't let rent at that time.
I think you've got, I think you've got a lot coming out of Tennessee. Cause I mean, they pay dearly renting them.
Well,
So
why don't we do that like we talk about the Lakeville, have
Yeah.
a county.
80 for a resident,
80 for a
100 for a
resident, 100
non-resident.
for a non-resident.
Like that. I like that.
Yeah,
We had one,
make them show a license.
we had one time had a,
They reported the chance for going to the wrong school.
they had a baby shower.
Yeah.
And, but I think the police had to go over there about 2 or 3 in the morning and tell them they needed to leave. We carried out that next day 52 empty beer bottle cases
Wow.
of, I mean, it was so under the baseboard.
Before I forget on this, it's kind of, since we're on Alex and this, ball field rates. Is that something we're discussing too?
This is y'all's show, that's whatever.
I mean, because we're talking about increasing rates, I mean, you know, I don't even know what that looks like, I don't know what the rates are, but you know, as much
Didn't
as,
y'all just increase them?
We went through an exercise, and revised the contract and.
You had to rent a block
How
or
to
something.
at deposits,
is that what, yeah, I remember now that you're saying that, it seemed like
Yeah.
Alex brought that forward and all that, we did go up, did we not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. That's
Starting
right
this year.
early on.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like it was tabled at the end of last year.
And that's
and
what
then
we
it was
dealt
brought
with first
back.
when we came on,
Right.
okay, yeah, I never talked about that, because I was just thinking, if this is lagging behind, is that lagging
So,
behind, but Alex did
See,
identify
they
that.
tabled it so you and I could run it back, guys, is what they did.
yes.
And that's fine, because they need to go up, I mean,
Yeah, I'm
that's
glad y'all
a.
brought that up when y'all come on.
Yeah, thanks for having it.
Yeah,
But yeah, we did, I think we did.
yeah, now that you say that, yeah, I just wanna make sure we weren't lagging behind there. I don't feel like we're having people abuse these facilities to make a profit, like I think happens at the ball fields. If that makes sense, to everybody.
Don't we send cleaning every time somebody rents it, to go clean them?
Yeah, that's what he was talking about, the cleaning fees that are
Do we
associated
only
with
clean
it.
it when they rent it, or do they clean them on a regular
I
basis?
think they're charged with cleaning them, keeping them clean.
That's what I was
So-
thinking.
And the people are supposed to clean, and if not, we're supposed to keep the deposit. We always have to sweep everything.
Right.
But like he says in here, and he's right, if you got a Friday and a Saturday and a Sunday rental, who do you know, who was the
Right.
bad culprit of not cleaning up? Because you
Yeah.
can't assume it's the Sunday person, could have
Have
been
to
the
go
Friday person, so he's like, it's
Sure.
hard to keep deposits. So that's a tough one for him too.
Yeah, 'cause we was fortunate, we was doing it, because we had somebody working 7 days a week at the park, so they would go up every day, every morning and check it.
And then,
Did we ever do any kind of different lots, or we still had to come by and get a key?
Gotta go get a key.
You gotta go by, get a key, and,
We just,
it just got, it's got pretty expensive to do the key fobs per door.
What about the combinations that you can change remote? They've come a long way.
Yes.
and I think Alex might have been talking about that.
Yeah.
One time about putting that on there, and then whoever rents it, I mean,
As a code.
it's code, and
Yeah.
it goes off, it's just the time that you got it.
Just like going
Look
to
at
your
a different
condo in Florida.
well, I don't have one of those, so tell me how that works.
I rent them.
Just giving you a hard time.
I'd like to have one. But no, I mean, they just program them from the office. So I mean,
Yeah, Bluetooth wireless, yeah.
And that would let you,
Sure.
because right now you go by and get a key on Friday, you got it all week long, so. in the Middle of the night. it's
You're
working.
chasing keys too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, have to go cut new ones.
Just the keys they're expensive now.
Yeah, well, and then somebody can make a copy of a key, then go in whenever they want to, you know, and
Well, the combination would be the best way.
Yeah.
Sure would be.
Well, see, I think it, would you pay even more, but I think they was supposed to not duplicate marked on the keys.
oh, yeah,
But if you know the
Yeah.
right person, I mean, you
yeah.
Give me the number. I
Yeah,
don't
you
have
go
the
into
number.
those self-serve kiosks, make your own keys.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
I think it definitely need to go up. That rate is,
Yeah, I like Steve's idea.
and that seemed like they were
Non-resident,
charging,
I like it.
they were charging like Constitution Hall and Boynton, I think those were higher
Right.
than, say, Chambers or,
Eve or.
Yeah.
Well, it has been really enjoyable. But, we sort of need to get out of here so they can lock up.
Another break.
But, well, just if you care for something, please swing by the break room and grab it. Because they'll be locking it up as well.
I think all I need for the right.
The official time is 10:51.
We got 9 minutes.
Does anyone have a vinegar?
Vinegar?
oh, Quaaludes.